So hi, it's Jo. So quick thank you firstly for liking and subscribing my videos. Over the next 3 weeks we're going to be working on dogs' noses, which is a bit of a change from the last 3 weeks when we worked on the different washes to get the different effects. This week we're going to be working in graphite, working on a picture of from a picture of a chocolate Labrador, but the nose is really clear in the photograph, so it gives you a good impression of how to transfer from a photograph to a drawing and getting those tones correct, because that's it's half the battle. If you can get the tones correct, and of course a bit of good drawing along the way, you're onto a winner. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. You have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye. So hi, it's Jo. So today we're going to be focusing, or the next 3 weeks actually, we're going to be focusing on dogs' noses in 3 different media. So this week we're going to be doing graphite, next week we're going to be doing colour pencils, and the week after we'll be doing a watercolour. So I thought we'd start off with pencils, graphite, because, you know, drawing is the basis of all good painting, and it's really important to at least have a few drawing skills, or, you know, some knowledge around drawing and the different pencils and what they do and all of that stuff. So I was just going to show you a little bit about how I sketch and what I sketch with and how I start and how I get sort of those tones in a drawing. So the first thing you really need is a range of pencils. So I'm just going to show you a few I've got here. So we've got a 4H. Now we don't really use 4Hs very much, or Hs, because they tend to be quite architectural. They're quite light, they're sharp, and lead is very hard. So then you've got your HB, which is your general school pencils. General, mid-grey, pretty good for sketching. If you're going to sketch before you're doing a watercolour, that's probably quite a good pencil to use, because you don't get the little bits of graphite, you know, coming off into your painting when you're painting, because, you know, when you've got something really soft, there is a risk of little tiny flakes of graphite coming off. And then you've got your 4B. You can go right up to a 9B, I think, but this is a 4B, so it is soft enough for our purposes today. So I have just done a quick pre-sketch. So when I'm sketching, and I use the 4B, I tend to sort of hold my pencil quite a way up, because I want to keep those lines really light. I tend to sort of go backwards and forwards, and just until I make sure that I've got my sketch correct, or that I'm happy with. So with nostrils, it's a very soft, you know, we've got the leather of the dog, and it's a very soft surface, so we don't want to make any of our lines really hard. Hence why we also use B pencils, because we want to utilize that real softness that comes from a very soft lead. Right, so once you're happy with your drawing, then you can switch to sort of, you know, using, being closer to the top of the pencil, because now you're sort of, you detail, you're gripping your pencil quite hard, because you want to have that ultimate control of how much you press, because that at the end of the day will dictate how dark your surfaces are. So I'm now pressing quite hard, because I want to get those dark tones in to start with. You can see how dark that is. So I'm just going to colour that in. So once I've got my dark tones, then I can start assessing the other mid-tones and light tones. Right. And that actually, you see, I'm altering my drawing even as I'm going along. I'm checking it. Right, and there's dark on the other side, because you know, that's a, you know, there's a tube going back there, so, you know, it's a cavity, so you want to have that, there's real dark tones in there. Okay, and obviously around where that little ridge is, halfway up the middle. Now the other big thing that, you know, that is quite tricky with dogs' noses is the surface. So they call it a leather, a dog's nose. And, you know, just doing that sort of thing is not really going to convey the surface if you just fill it in like that. So what I do is, and I've moved my fingers back up again because I want to convey that lightness, is I move my pencil in a little circular pattern. I want to make sure I keep a little bit of light on his nose. It's a bit like the eyes. So whether you can see light on a nose or not, it's still good to add a little bit of light just to give it life, a bit of a three-dimensional quality around it. And the same goes for where the light hits the front of the nose there. So the light hits around here. So I want to make sure that I keep some of my paper clear. So these little circular motions all over that nose. Okay. Can you see how it's developing some texture? And when you get to the top here, it's really light. There's no hard line at the top of the nose. It just, as the skin goes back, you just start getting some, you know, the hair starts appearing. So I'll keep that nice and light, but still those sort of circular motions. And then we'll just colour in down here. Okay. So we've got like our mid-tones in, so now we want to work out, okay, how are we actually going to get that to look like leather? So I'm just straightening up, making those look better. That's the little channel or flap there of the nostril. Then you've also got another little ridge here. All these little tiny details just make something look realistic. Like when I did the horse, it's really important to put little tiny details in. Especially when you get people that know dogs or horses, they know exactly what it should look like. So I'm using the side of the pencil now, so I'm softening it. So I've done my circles first, then I'm going over with a softer pencil. Softening all of those lines, leaving a little bit of light there. Moving to the other side. Keeping that nice and dark because that's obviously in the background. And as I said before, I want to keep some light here in the front of this nostril. That's a mid-tone in there. And make sure you get some, you know, it's darker where that line is down the middle. I'm using lines in different directions to sort of create the impression of curve, life, texture. It can, you know, it can convey so much. Keep your lines interesting, keep them different, keep them a different pressure. I think we're nearly there. So this line here underneath the nostril flap, make that blurred there. So again, it's not a hard line. So just blur that out a little bit as you come down there. But nice and dark, and right underneath in there, that's nice and dark. And then just work your way back around it and just check all your tones, check your lines, check your textures. is there anything I can do there to make it look more like it should do? Okay. I think that's about it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this this short video. Just giving you a start up, a heads up on some drawing skills, and next week we're going to be doing, as I said, some coloured pencil works. So we'll be looking at the colours, suitable colours for drawing dogs' noses, and just a bit about the technique of how you layer, how you can layer your coloured pencils to really get that colour and that softness. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, bye.